All right, here with Wyoming East coach Stephen Cook and Stephen taking over here at Wyoming East. Just talk about taking over as football coach for your alma mater. You graduated here. You told me 2015.
Yeah.
Can you even believe you're sitting in that chair right now as the
No,
coach?
no, I never. This wasn't in the plans when I graduated. After after my time here, I went to WVU, got an engineering degree, and planned on working in that field. Then, with the COVID situation, things played out, and I ended up teaching here, teaching math, because that's what I'm good at. That's what I like, and I enjoy being a service, I guess. So when this football job came open, I really debated it whether I wanted to do it or not. Um, but I needed to do it. That's the way I'll say. I care about these kids. I want them to have the same opportunities that I did, build the same memories that I did when I was in high school. I loved football, and I just want to give that back.
What you say you felt like you needed to do it? Was it more for them or more for you? When did
It's
you
not for
realize?
me.
When did you realize you wanted to get back into football? You played here. You played on 3 playoff teams, I think. Why? When did you know you wanted to do that?
Um, Really, after I started teaching, and you're talking to the kids, and I've always loved football, loved it, loved to watch it. Um, but that's I don't know. It just clicked that this would be a really good way to help a lot of kids out and allow them to have fun. This is not about me in any way. Um, it's basically it. I'm a teacher. That's my approach to coaching is teaching. Every day, kids are getting a lesson. It may be something very simple, but I'm giving every single one of them some of my time, and I think that's important.
So you never, coming out of high school, you thought you were done with football when you went to West Virginia, or
Yeah, I probably could have went somewhere and played some college ball. I wouldn't say D1 or anything like that. No,
in the
that's
conference or something? Man.
yeah, but um, I remember Coach Poindexter asked me about it if I wanted to play because I guess there was a coach or two contacting him maybe or something. But I decided really early on, I guess before my senior year, that I didn't want to play. I just wanted to go to school.
When do you, what is your football philosophy? I mean, what will it be for these kids? You mentioned you haven't coached before. What is your coaching philosophy going in?
It's the same as when I played. Um, Work very hard and be competitive. Um, that's one thing that I see, and it's a tendency today maybe of kids to want to bail when it gets tough, or when things don't play out the exact way they want. They don't have that desire to fight for it. The best way I can explain it was when I walked in here as a freshman. I wanted to compete, so I wanted to be the best lineman on the team. I wanted that. I wanted to be the strongest guy. I wanted to be the fastest. It didn't matter if I wasn't. I still chased it.
I think you ended up being that, though, right? I mean, at one point you probably were the strongest, biggest.
I believe, but it wouldn't have happened without having that competitive.
Right. So how do you get that into your players? I mean, there's going to be small numbers, but I mean, it might not be the best year, but this might be the most important year as
Yeah.
you're starting out. How do you get that? How do you infuse what you just told me, the way you approached it, into them?
Make them aware of the results they're seeing. So, like I said, there's been a lot of guys show up since January, working hard in the weight room. Okay, when you see the results from that they don't lie. okay? And that gives you something to chase. Move higher and higher and higher and higher up the ladder. And, you constantly need to tell the players, the kids, that they can achieve whatever they set their mind to. Now, it's going to be hard work, but building that belief that you can do something, whatever it may be, is critical. That's kind of what I think about this job. It's a big job. I take it very seriously. And, at times it's like, wow, this is going to be tough. But you show up every single day. You give everything you've got. And it will work out. That's just how things work.
Who were some of your mentors? Who were guys that you rely on for? Who do you go to right now for advice as you're getting ready to start your first year on the sidelines?
Well, obviously, I would ask Coach Hedinger a lot of questions. He's been around a while, knows a lot. Any of my former coaches, administrators, anybody who has been around the school system, football, it may just be general conversation. But who I would look back on the most is my former coaches, because I remember them. I remember the good times that they organized for me.
That Poindexter, some guys
Yes.
like that,
Yes.
who had some pretty good success here
Mm-hmm.
during his run as the coach.
Yeah.
Again, small numbers. Any concern there? Are you actively recruiting, trying to get guys out? Have you been, I would assume you did that before the year was out, but
Yeah. I worked on that a lot. There's going to be, there's going to be a lot of new faces. We'll probably have. I know it's hard to put on a number on how many kids we're going to have, but I'm confident in around 30. But there's a lot of those that have worked and worked and worked all off season. Of course, usually there's more that come out that you don't plan on.
are you worried about things that might sneak up, having not done without any experience, things that might sneak up on you, or do you feel like you've got guys in place like Kevin Hedger, like you said, been around?
Oh yeah,
For those instances,
I'm not worried about it. It's all new.
it's probably
Anytime-
the paperwork's worse than the actual coaching.
Yeah. I'm very aware of that. But yeah, I haven't ran up on anything that has been a surprise. A lot of that's asking questions.
Right.
Just trying to stay ahead. What am I looking at next? And thinking. It's it's a lot.
Do you, now that the season's kind of here, does it feel a little bit different? Or do you feel like you did the first day you walked in here, like you said about freshman? Was it almost like walking in, we'll get to what's really new, the turf and everything, and you're just a second, but does it feel kind of like walking back in here like you did in I guess, 2011, whenever you first came in?
There's a lot of similarities. It really is, because it's new.
This would have been 11, right?
Yeah. It's all a new adventure. I mean, and I'm going to take the same approach to coaching as I did playing. It's just show up every day. You're going to work hard. Okay. It really is that simple. That's my message to the kids. It's so simple. If you work hard, you get the results.
One thing you have that coaches before you, going back to Grog and Coach Poindexter, Coach Kevin Grog, Poindexter, and the guys after, Jewel, didn't have was a field that's turfed.
Yeah.
What kind of difference do you think that's going to make? I mean, I know you have to be appreciative that the board did that for both of these county schools, but what kind of difference do you think that'll make for Wyoming East football?
Well, just thinking of it from a logistical perspective, I remember playing, and we would spend a lot of our time out back and bounce between the field and out back just to try to keep the grass good. And of course, once it starts raining in the fall, it never dries up. It turns into a mud pit, and it makes things hard, you know. But this turf, it's just going to make our lives just way more efficient. We're going to be clean. You know, you don't have to worry about a lot of the extra cleaning, a lot of the just mess that comes with the grass. We don't have to mow it.
Well, not that they ever mowed here anyway, from what I heard. Wyoming East was notorious for the long grass, but the turf will, I guess, remain the same.
Yeah.
Are you excited about, are your players rather, do you sense that they're excited about that? And it's not down totally yet, but it's starting to take shape out there.
Yeah, they're getting excited. This morning, they just started rolling it out last Friday. And everybody who came in for lifting this morning, we all stepped out front and was looking at it, and I seen a lot of the guys, they were lighting up, you know, smiling. They're excited to get on it. They think it looks good. I think it looks good. I mean, it's just going to be. I'm excited. To
Does
see
it change anything you'll do?
Not really.
I mean, you got to play with it. It's not like you can recruit kids. I guess some can, but on the whole, you can't really recruit players to that. You got to play with what you have. But do you think it'll change anything schematically?
It may. I guess if I was a player, it would maybe factor in. I would rather play on something that looked nice than play in just a dirt.
Well, isn't it not a fact that all linemen like grass, though?
They may. It just depends. There's definitely maybe pros and cons to everything.
Right.
The grass, one thing about it, it's going to be softer. If it's dry, you may get better traction on it. But the flip side of it is, when you're playing in a downpour, you don't have to worry about muddy footballs and
coming in on the weekend and cleaning it up after.
Yeah.
Which is obviously always a good thing. Coach, I appreciate the time this morning, and good luck going ahead. Last thing, schematically, do you know what kind of base you're going to run out of on offense and defense?
We probably will be. We'll see when we get the pads on what we like. We could be multiple. We could be under center. Run game, we could be spread. We could try to pass. It's just going to play out with the strengths of our players. We'll have to wait and see.
Is that a drawback, having to not know? Because a lot of people, when they've been in a situation, they know the kids they got back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't know who. I mean, I know you know who they are. You're from the area, but not knowing exactly where they can go, is that a drawback in year one?
I don't really have I'm not worried about that. I'm not. I have a good idea where some players, where most everybody will fit. At this point, it will probably just be some tweaks. Maybe a kid plays better on the left side of the line than on the right. You know, it's not really a problem. We'll coach them up. That's one thing that I think is important that we can control. You can't control if you're 6'5", 320 pounds, or, you know, can run a 240. But you can control knowing football, your IQ, and that's how we're going to attack everything, is making sure everybody is very fundamentally sound and has an attacking mindset.
All right, Coach, I appreciate the time, and good luck this season.
Thank you.